as soon as like a person finishes taking a test or assessment, they can get their results and they can get answers and an AI summary and answer questions based on that. So my contributions to this project and kind of what I had like a more heavy role in was I kind of helped focus on the full stack architecture, in which I kind of designed and laid out the pathway for how I want this website to look. And I curated with like intent and understanding of my goals and what I wanted to accomplish with this project. So I set up the database tables in Supabase, like I worked like server routes, I created the page layouts, like, and I deployed the web app. So moving on, I also helped with like authentication and security. So I helped work with Supabase again, like working on the sign in and login page so that users can properly set up and create their accounts and store their credentials and test scores. And then I also focused on like test workspace and analytics. So I kind of helped design the rework and interactive assessments on the dashboard that I can show later. So like ultimately I made sure like everything was recorded on like, for example, how long it takes the user to click or respond to certain activities and their accuracy scores and whatnot. And that is fed into the database, which is then like looped back into the dashboard and real-time tracking is taking place. So ultimately, like the impact and what's next is the current impact is that this just is a way to prove like an at-home, like web-based testing and helps make AI integrated within the systems to create like a more user-friendly interface that helps track cognitive decline or increase over time for just like the average person. And it also, by implementing like different activities like puzzles or memory tests, like daily reminders can help connect people to like healthcare providers in the future. Like as a goal, I kind of hope to make, you know, this AI like web page like more accessible and continue to expand by adding more activities and, you know, potentially like make a app with this. That's the end of like the presentation part. So do you have any questions or any insights?
Yeah, we can discuss that. But before that, I'd like if you could give me the live demonstration of the web app. Okay.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Uh, like we can discuss that. We can have the feedback later on.
Mhm.
Firstly, we can have the live
Okay.
demonstration first. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so this is just the login page. The user is like given the option to sign in, create an account, and all this data and information will be stored within the like Supabase application system safely. This is the main dashboard. This is just showing some basic displays. So it shows like your streak and your sessions, just to kind of motivate the user to log on and see how often they've been on. And then I created these 4 different activities. So there's like an array of options the user can choose from. So I can just like quickly run through these. So this first one is like a puzzle essentially. And every single time the user opens this up, it'll be like a new randomly generated like puzzle. So it's going to be unique and they can't just like memorize the same puzzle and like remember, oh, where this goes and what to do. This activity just kind of like checks if you can like take an image and repeat it and understand like different working parts, and it tracks your time and your moves. And then this is stored into our database in the analytics section. The second activity I made was the pattern recognition, which this is like a more simple activity as well. Essentially, like, yes, you just have to follow this pattern and try to understand like continuities and what's going on in the images. Um, so once again, your accuracy is scored and it is tracked, and it's stored in our analytics tab. This is the word and story recall. This activity focuses more on long-term memorization and understanding. So like, as you can see up here, there's this little timer, and as you read through this, it times how long you take to read through this and like take in all the information. And these are just some keywords that may help the reader. So then after you've read it, this is kind of where like the long-term memory part comes in, because this is like a little break of 15 seconds. Like, so instead of just immediately jumping into recalling information, you have to do some math problems. So it kind of tests like your long-term memory and makes you potentially forget some details to see if you can keep them in mind. For demonstration purposes, I didn't really read it, but okay. So once again, your accuracy, your scoring, and your time is all just stored furthermore into like the analytics page, which I'll get into in a second. This is the last task. This is the recipe task. So it's a little more complex compared to these last three, but I tried to make it a more fun and interactive, like kind of game rather than just like a simple, easier task. So here you're given a list of steps and items and ingredients you kind of need to get. So you'll need to remember tools, ingredients, and like the order of steps you need to work. So this is kind of focusing on a lot of different things at once. So instead of just memorizing like a few different types of things, you need to memorize like a bit more and also understand like what order of process you need to work in. And if you like say, think you need to use the whisk first, that comes up with a sequence error and you should be using the pot first. So it tracks a lot of different things within this. I'll finish the session to show. So if you complete the dish, it'll show like if you completed a dish here, and it essentially shows for the latency is like from when they show the ingredients list and the items list and your reaction time to gathering all the items correctly. So as this goes up, obviously you took more time to decide which ingredients and items you needed. It counts the amount of sequence errors you have. So say like when I thought, oh, maybe I should get the whisk and use the whisk first when I should be using the pot, like that would be a sequence error. So it counts how many sequence errors you have, which is kind of like a memory like fault or something. So there's also distractor errors and hesitations of like, oh, how long it took you to like move from one step to the other, and then it shows the total session time. So from all four of these activities, the information and data are taken and stored in our analytics page, which in our analytics page, really is the age. So by changing your age, like lowering it or rising it, it will change your benchmark for like different reaction times and accuracies that your age range should be getting by the general public average, and like the base to be so parent and the baseline where you may want to shoot for. So these are shown, and again, your scores are shown here for the activities, and over time as you progress in practice, you'll see more changes in baseline accuracy and individual tests. But if you want to see all of your activities, and here this is where I grok a lot. This is the AI progress assessment or the summary. So just what you did in the activities and your accuracies on it in like a really short, simple, understandable way for pretty much any age range to read, just get a basic understanding of what Once they're it could be really helpful if you had questions to go down to the MindTrace assistant, which is also part of, and you can just in here and ask questions like is space and you get pretty fast compared to like to your other AI models, and it'll give you really detailed, helpful response that you can read through. Any questions. And then if you want to, you can reset your logs. So see, so it's just like
Oh, you're lagging a lot. Like, I'm not able to hear.
so for the analytics page, in short, it stores and compiles all of your data here from all of your activities. So your accuracies, your completion times, your scores are all like displayed here. And in this chart, um, your age range can be taken above, and you can increase or decrease this based on like your age. And then your average time is compared to the baseline time in the data space of what your age group should have or what you should kind of be shooting for. And so it is compared in this table. And then here below, your averages for all of your activities are displayed, and it displays like, okay, are you on track with what the averages should be for your age range? And then you can look at the progression of all of your different activities. And obviously, as time goes on, like you can see each of your activities gain more and more data and see like the trends better. And your histories will be displayed here. So as you do more tests, like you can scroll through and see all of your individual like scores. And then here is the AI summarizer, which just summarizes like all the information from your assessments that you recently did. So it just gives you a rundown of important like numbers and changes that may have occurred, like if it's normal or regular, what's going on. And then once you've read through that, this is the MindTrace assistant. This is powered by Grok. And if you have any questions or concerns, like you can ask here below, and it'll give you a relatively really fast answer compared to maybe other like AI chatbots or assistants. And if you have any questions about the data, it should be able to pull from the database it has and just like give you a rundown and debrief you on any questions or assistance you need. So that's like the analytics page.
Okay. So yeah. So that's the end of the demonstration, right? Or are there any other features that you want to like display or show?
These are like all the features I have, but I
Okay.
hope to expand it. So
Okay. Uh, okay. So you can stop sharing. Uh,